Kurunji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurunji Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurunjischoolnkl.in.
Students, now in this video we are discussing regarding seed. We are discussing regarding seed. So this particular point also NEET examination point of view important. So let us learn this particular information in this video, right? That is this seed. Now the ovules after fertilization. Which one? Ovules. Ovules after fertilization develop into seed. So here the ovules after fertilization definitely develops into seeds. So our knowledge point of view, after fertilization ovary develops into fruit. Next one, ovules are develops into seed. Among these particular points easy only for biology students. No, these particular points are easy. Now ovules are develops into seed, whereas ovary develops into fruit. Okay, now can I ask one question? That is fruit wall is also called as pericarp, right? Now a seed is made up of so suppose if you take one particular seed is there means, so that one is made up of seed coat and one more is embryo. Means seed coat and embryo combines together or complete or involves in the formation of one particular seed. Means a seed, if you are observing one particular seed, no, definitely that particular seed is made up of seed coat and embryo. Seed coat and embryo, right? Now the embryo is made up of, so once you see there, the seed coat, seed is made up of seed coat and embryo. Now this particular embryo is made up of radicle and embryonal axis and one or two cotyledons. Means there if you see one particular embryo that consists of radicle. Next one, it consists of embryonal axis along with these two, either one or two cotyledons. Either one or two cotyledons are present in the embryo. So this particular point also important to try to save in your mind. So right now, so our knowledge point of view, so seeds are categorized into two types. So two types of seeds are there. One is a dicotyledonous seed and one more is monocotyledonous seed. Okay, so monocotyledonous seed where we can see, sir, best example means, so we can see in wheat and maize. Next one, dicotyledonous seed. Di means so two, no. Two cotyledons are there means, so dicotyledons we can be taken. So two cotyledons we can be seen in gram and p. So this particular point you try to remember carefully. Suppose if a one cotyledon is present, that particular seed we will be calling as monocotyledon seed. Suppose if a two cotyledons are there, that particular seed we will be calling as dicotyledonous seed. So monocotyledon means in seed only one cotyledon is present. Best example, wheat and maize. Next one, two cotyledons we can be seen in gram and p. Points on understood. So now this particular points also concept point of view important. Now let us see the information of dicotyledonous seed. Now structure of a dicotyledonous seed means here once you see there dicotyledonous, di means two, means here how many number of cotyledons are there? Two cotyledons are there. Dicotyledonous seed. Now the outermost covering of a seed is the seed coat. So here is suppose if you take one particular seed, their outermost protecting layer or outermost covering layer, outermost covering layer of a seed is called as seed coat. Definitely this particular seed coat protects the seed. Why? Because this particular seed coat only is outermost protecting layer, or outermost covering layer. Okay, so now here what is the point? The seed coat has two layers. So seed coat has two layers. Seed coat has two layers. So one is outermost protecting layer, or outer layer is testa and inner layer is tegmen. Outer layer is texta and inner layer is tegmen. Once you try to buy heart, so here this testa and tegmen, from where these two are formation takes place means, if you see the structure of ovule, so here if you see the structure of ovule, so that particular ovule is covered by two integuments. So that particular ovule is covered by two integuments. So their first integument is involves in the formation of testa, and from the second integument tegmen formation takes place. Outermost or outer protecting layer is a testa and inner layer is tegmen. So try to remember all these scientific terms, try to remember carefully. Right, now the hilum is a scar. One more time let me explain. So if you see the structure of dicotyledonous seed, almost or outermost protecting layer or the covering layer is called as seed coat. So that particular seed coat has two layers. Two layers. One is testa, it is outer protecting layer, and tegmen, it is inner protecting layer or inner layer. Now if you see hilum, so hilum is a scar on the seed coat through which developing seeds were attached to the fruit. So means here, so according to our knowledge point of view, suppose if you take one particular ovule, so that particular ovule consists of, or one particular ovule will be there, that particular ovule is attached to the placenta by means of a stalk. Stalk of ovule is called as, okay, once you see that the slender like suppose if you see the ovary is attached to the placenta by means of a stalk is known as funicle. So that particular funicle. Now the point attachment of the body of the ovule to the stalk is known as hilum. Okay, now here the stalk of ovule is called as a funicle, and the ovule where it is attached to the funicle, that particular junction we will be calling as hilum. So in this particular case, hilum is a scar on the seed coat through which the developing seeds were attached to the fruit. So that particular point also you try to remember. Next one, above the hilum, a small pore is present. Above the hilum, a small pore is present. That particular pore we will be calling as micropylar region. Means this particular thing. So suppose if you take one particular ovule, so there you will find out, sir, what is a funicle, or what is a hilum, or what is micropylar region, and what is a chalajal region. Suppose if you see the video of ovule, you will understand clearly. So means what is the point I am giving you is, definitely one particular ovule is there means that particular ovule is attached to the placenta by means of a stalk is known as, or simply you try to remember like this, stalk of ovule is nothing but funicle. Next one, this particular funicle means the stalk of ovule is attached to the ovule at one particular junction. That particular junction we will be calling as a hilum. Okay, now that is a point you try to remember. Right, now there above the hilum, a small pore is called as micropyle. Next one, within the seed coat, the embryo consisting of, one more time you see there, within the seed coat, the embryo consisting of embryonal axis. Within the seed coat, so each one seed coat is a embryo, consists of embryonal axis and has two cotyledons. So means if you take one particular So embryo, so within the seed coat, which one we can find out? One embryonal axis we can find out, and we can find out two cotyledons. So two cotyledons. Next one, the cotyledons are often fleshy and full of reserve food materials. So suppose if you take one particular cotyledons, so these cotyledons are fleshy. So means due to the storage of food materials. So due to the storage of food materials, so here these cotyledons are fleshy. These cotyledons are fleshy and full of reservoir of food materials. So once you see the diagram here, so diagram of this one, so this is the dicotyledonous seed. So this is the best example of dicotyledonous seed. Our knowledge point, now you see there, so this is the structure of dicot seed. So dicot seed means there are how many number of cotyledons are present? 2 cotyledons are there. So this is an example which one chana you know no, or simply, so what is the diagram no, peanut you can remember. Okay, Pisum sativum P is there, no, that particular P you can remember. Now there, so outermost protecting layer is a seed coat. Next one, a hilum we are observing, and micropillaration also we are observing. So micropillaration and hilum. So that particular information here I have given explanation. Now in this particular diagram, what are the points I would like to highlight more means, so once you see that this particular exactly at spotlight this particular diagram, so here the leaf like structures are there now. These two leaf like structures we will be calling as cotyledons. So this one cotyledon. So between the two cotyledons, once you see between the two cotyledons, so here we are observing longitudinal lines, no, 2 lines we are observing now. These 2 lines we will be calling as, so this particular line we will be calling as embryonal axis. This particular line we will be calling as embryonal axis. Next one, epicotyle here and hypocotyle here. Now embryonal axis, once you listen carefully, that point is the embryonal axis which is situated just above the cotyledons. Embryonal axis just above the cotyledons is called as epicotyle, consists of plumule region. Next one, embryonal axis just below the cotyledons, above and below only difference. Embryonal axis just above the cotyledons is known as epicotyle region, consists of plumule. Next one, embryonal axis just below the cotyledons is known as hypocotyle region. Hypocotyle region consists of radicle. Next one, epicotyle region consists of plumule. Now this particular plumule is results in the formation of a shoot system. Aerial shoot system will be there now. That particular shoot system developed from the plumule, whereas from the radicle, which one formation takes place? Root system formation takes place. This is a small diagrammatical explanation. So regarding which one? Structure of dicot seed. Now information if you see there now, information point of view. So what is the information to be discussed means, now within the seed coat the embryo consists of an embryonal axis. Now we have seen now that particular embryonal axis and consists of 2 cotyledons. Now these cotyledons are often fleshy and full of reserve of food materials. So there in that particular cotyledons, no, so here due to the storage of food materials that becomes fleshy. Next one, at the 2 ends of the embryonal axis are present radicle and plumule. Means on the 2 ends. So on upper side, we have seen the presence of plumule of embryonal axis, and lower side we have seen which one? Radicle. This particular radicle involves in the formation of root system, and plumule involves in the formation of shoot system. Suppose if you are unable to understand this much of huge information, so here no worry about it. So in presence of you, I will explain this entire information by one more time. Okay, so but what is the point I am asking to remember means, if you take a embryonal axis which is present in between of 2 cotyledons, so down end means here the radical portion means embryonal axis which is below the cotyledons involves in the formation of root system, and the embryonal axis which is above the cotyledons results in the formation of shoot system. Means simply radicle involves in the formation of root system and plumule involves in the formation of shoot system. Am I right? Now here that is a small information diagrammatically. Next one, in some seeds such as castor, in some seeds such as castor, the endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization. So in some seeds such as castor we don't know, so Ricinus communis scientific name, Ricinus communis, castor scientific name. There the endosperm triploid, so there how many number of sets of chromosomes are there? Means a triple set, means 3 sets. So this particular endosperm formed only after the process of double fertilization. Okay, so there this particular endosperm is storing food materials. So that's why this particular endosperm we will be calling as food storing tissue. Endosperm is food storing tissue, and this particular means because of the presence of endosperm in that particular castor seeds, this particular endosperm we will be calling as, or this particular seed we will be calling as endospermic seeds. Listen carefully. Endospermic seeds means, suppose if the seeds consist of endosperm, endospermic seeds means, suppose if the seeds consist of endosperm, that particular seeds we will be calling as endospermic seeds. Best example is Ricinus communis. Ricinus communis common name or the normal name is castor. So thereby here in a second year one more same information only, one more type of how I will explain now. So here based on the presence or absence of endosperm, seeds are divided into 2 types. One is endospermic seeds and the second one is non-endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds means, suppose if the seeds consist of endosperm, suppose if the seeds consist of endosperm, so such kind of seeds we will be calling as endospermic seeds. Suppose non-endospermic seeds means, suppose if the seeds are not consist of or not possessing of endosperm, so such kind of seeds we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. Am I right? Now endospermic seeds best example castor. Next one, non-endospermic seeds best examples are bean, gram, pea. Did you remember here? Beans, gram and pea, these 3 members comes under Fabaceae family members. Okay, means mostly in Fabaceae family members which one is absent? Endosperm is absent. So that information only once let us see. That information is, in plants such as beans, gram and pea, the endosperm is not present in matured seeds. So this particular endosperm is not present in mature seeds, and such seeds are known as endospermic seeds. That is non-endospermic seeds. Suppose means, suppose if the endosperm is absent, suppose if the endosperm is absent, so such kind of seeds simply we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. So this is a small explanation regarding types of seeds based on the presence or absence of endosperm. So suppose if endosperm is present, endospermic seeds. Suppose if endosperm is absent, non-endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds best example Ricinus communis means castor, and non-endospermic seeds best example beans, gram and pea. Right. Now you see there. So these particular diagrams I have explained under dicotyledonous seed. Now let us start to learn the information of monocotyledonous seed. Now structure let us see. Now the structure of monocotyledonous seed. Okay. Now generally monocotyledonous seeds are endospermic. First and very important point. What is that? Generally monocotyledonous seeds. Generally monocotyledonous seeds are endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds means, what is the point we can understand? Endosperm is present. So now I will give one important point to try to save in your mind. Sir, generally when we can see the presence of endosperm means, try to save. Now I am going to give explanation. Suppose while development of embryo, suppose if the embryo consumes entire endosperm, entire endosperm means there we could not see the presence of endosperm. So suppose while development of embryo is going on, suppose that particular embryo not consume the entire endosperm means at the time chance is there to see somewhat endosperm there, remnant endosperm. Point you understood or not? Means, so now simply I will give you once you listen. Suppose while development of embryo, if endosperm is completely utilized, that particular endosperm we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. Next one, while development of embryo, suppose sometimes now endosperm is not completely utilized, that one endospermic seeds. Okay, means not completely utilized means then at the time we can see the presence of endosperm. Suppose if the completely endosperm utilized for the development of embryo, at the time we could not see the presence of endosperm. I hope you understood this one. Now let me move forward. That is in monocotyledonous seeds generally definitely presence of endosperm we can see. Definitely, so we can see the presence of endosperm, but some of the archaeads, so here if you see in archaeads, so there definitely, so archaeads even though comes under monocotyledons, in archaeads we are observing non-endospermic seeds. Means there while development of endosperm in archaeads, endosperm is completely utilized. So when this particular endosperm is completely utilized, no, we could not see the presence of endosperm in that particular seeds. That's why we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. Next one, in the seeds of cereals, such as maize, popcorn we will do no, so that one maize, the seed coat is membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall. This particular point in a previous video, recently we have learned this particular point. No, suppose in a Caryopsis I have given no, in a Caryopsis, what is the example I have taken? What is the sativa I have taken and wheat I have taken? No, so same point we have seen. Which one? In a cereals such as maize, the seed coat is a membranous. The seed coat is a membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall. Fruit wall is also called as pericarp. So there in this particular maize, no, which one and which one? Seed coat. Seed coat is a membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall, pericarp. Right. Next one, the endosperm is bulky and stores of food materials. My dear students, one point you don't forget, that particular point is in angiosperms. Angiosperms means both dicotyledons and monocotyledons comes under angiosperms. Okay, in angiosperms, this particular endosperm is acting as reservoir of food materials. So that's why, so the endosperm is bulky and stores food materials. Stores the food. Next one, outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinaceous layer. Suppose if you are writing notes, so this particular point you try to underline. Okay, so try to put star mark on this. So what is the point now I am going to give you is the outer covering, after covering of endosperm separates the embryo. Once you see the diagram, so later I will give you explanation of this one. So here this is the diagram of monocot seed or maize seed. So now, so exactly at a spotlight, so center part no, we can be taken as endosperm. Now this particular endosperm is separated from the seed coat. Exactly outermost protecting layer is there no. So this particular seed coat, this seed coat, so that separated by. So separated by here exactly at spotlight we are observing dot lines we are observing now separating a layer. So this particular separating layer only we will be calling as aileron layer. Spelling ALEURONELAYER, aileron layer. Means now what is the point I would like to highlight means, so here the seed coat is there, that seed coat and endosperm both are separated by means of a proteinaceous layer. Now you see that the outer covering layer of endosperm separate the embryo, separate the embryo by a proteinaceous layer called aleurone layer. Aleurone layer, this particular aleurone layer ploidy also is 3n in condition. So thereby now 2 points I will give you, try to save in your mind. The ploidy of aleurone layer is a 3n and the ploidy of endosperm also is 3n. Neat examination point of view important. Ploidy of endosperm 3n as well as ploidy of aleurone layer also 3n. Now here the aleurone layer is made up of proteins, that's why we are calling as proteinaceous. Right. Now the embryo is small and situated in a groove at the one end of endosperm. So suppose if you take one particular embryo, it is very small and situated in a groove, either one particular corner. So this particular embryo is present at one end of endosperm. At one end of the endosperm, definitely we will observe the embryo, but what is the situation of the embryo means this particular embryo is very small and situated in a groove, either one particular groove knowledge. So this particular embryo is present. Next one, it consists of one large and shield shaped cotyledon. So here this particular statement 100% important. So when we are going to observe the monocotyledonous seed, this particular monocotyledonous seed consists of one large and shield shaped cotyledon. Which one? Shield shaped cotyledon is present. That particular shield shaped cotyledon is known as scutellum. So one particular point you try to remember, that is in a monocotyledon, cotyledon is also known as scutellum. But in a dicotyledons we have seen 2 cotyledons, just we will be calling as cotyledons only, but there is no another name for this cotyledons. But in a monocot seeds, what is the cotyledon or one cotyledon is present, this particular cotyledon we will be calling as scutellum. So many times in examinations they have asked this one. Right. Now, and a short axis with plumule and a radicle. A short axis will be there. So with the plumule as well as with the radicle. Okay, that particular means here we can see the presence of a plumule and the presence of radicle in a monocotyledonous seed. Now the plumule and the radicle are closed in a sheath. So here, if you see the structure here, once you see there, come on to the structure here. So here, small like greater than like less than madri, chinna structures are there, plumule and here radicle. Now, this particular plumule and the radicle both are protected by means of, or covered by means of 2 sheaths. So 2 sheaths names are coleoptile and coleorhiza. Now here you see there coleo P and coleo R. Are you observing in coleoptile P and in coleorhiza R is there now? But here the coleo is common. Ipu coleoptile and coleorhiza is there. Now what is the point now I am going to give you is coleoptile P covers the plumule. Next one coleorhiza R protects the radicle. Means here what is the point now I am going to give you is coleoptile protects the plumule and coleorhiza protects the radicle. So that is a point I would like to explain more and more. Now in monocotyledonous seed, so what are the points we are learning more and more means, so generally in a monocotyledonous seed, so definitely we will observe the presence of endosperm, but in orchids, so seeds not consist of endosperm. That's why in orchid seeds, so non-endospermic seeds are present. Next one, so if you take the cereals of maize, means cereals of, for example, maize, so here the seed coat is a membranous and fused with the fruit wall. Fruit wall is nothing but pericarp. Next one, endosperm definitely it stores the food materials, that's why it seems to be bulky and provides the food materials for the developing embryo. Next one, outer covering layer of endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinaceous layer. Proteinaceous layer is nothing but aleurone layer. This particular aleurone layer is made up of proteins. Ploidy is 3N. So this particular point you try to remember in next our slip test examinations. Definitely I will ask this one. Aleurone layer ploidy is 3N. Likewise, ploidy of endosperm is also 3N, right. Now this particular embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of endosperm. Next one, it consists of one large and one shield shaped cotyledon. Shield shaped, everything you can remember, but what is the point? Definitely you have to remember. No, in a monocotyledonous seed, cotyledon is also known as scutellum. Next one, so there if you see there a short axis with plumule and a radicle. So this here the plumule and the radicle both are protected by means of coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. Coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. So this is a small information regarding monocotyledonous seed. Monocotyledonous seed, best example maize. So generally most of the monocotyledonous seed, which one is present? Endosperm is present, but there also one exception is there. Orchids not consist of endosperm. That's why these seeds we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. Non-endospermic seeds means what is the point here we can remember? While development of embryo, suppose if endosperm is completely utilized, that particular seeds we will be calling as non-endospermic seeds. Suppose while development of embryo, suppose if the endosperm is not completely utilized, not completely utilized means definitely we will see the presence of endosperm. No, at the time such kind of seeds we will be calling as endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds, so mostly we will observe in a monocotyledons, and in a dicotyledons, best example where we have seen castor scientific name Ricinus communis. So this is a small information regarding just two types of seeds. One is dicotyledons seed and one more is monocotyledons seed. In a dicotyledons seed, two cotyledons are present. In a monocotyledons seed, only one cotyledon is present. This particular one cotyledon we have given a special name as scutellum. So that is a small information regarding seed. So this particular information is easy only, but if you are unable to understand this particular information, no worry, in our classes also I will explain this entire information by one more time. So mostly I am concentrating on two types of students. One is for freshers and another one is those who are going for NEET examinations. That's why, so by covering of extra information, also giving this much of information, so try to watch this video carefully and be safe at home. Thank you.